Welcome to Guitar Search Saturdays. This is episode 32, filmed in Munich in Germany. This city is absolutely spectacular. Rick and I took about a week after GitCon last year and just saw some of the sights around the city and some interesting things that Rick wanted to check out of historical value, but we won't get into that. Either way, this city was stunning. We had beautiful weather and we're on a mission to see what kind of guitar shops we could find, and we found some amazing ones, including this first one. This is the first of 3 music shops we shot at in Germany, and this is called MJ Guitars. Now the MJ stands for Matthias Jabs. That's right, the lead guitarist from the Scorpions. He's been playing with them since 1978. How cool is that? So this is his shop. From what I understand, this particular shop was started just for the love of electric guitar and for no other reason, and this absolutely shows. There's some really killer stuff on the inside. MJ Guitars has one of the best selections of vintage instruments anywhere I've seen in the world, and guess what? We actually get to test some. Dr. Rick and I were in for an absolute treat, and this was the first guitar shop that we had a chance to check out while we were in the city, and man, we hit the jackpot with this one. I hope you like it. Let's go in and take a look. On the left, we see Matthias Jabs, the store owner and touring professional, hanging out with Kiss. And I love the fact it's framed with Paul Stanley's broken guitar, the guitarist from Kiss. How cool is that? Boom. I love when you walk into a shop and you see something you've never seen anywhere else, and there's kind of a reason for that one. The Skrydstrup R&D amps are made to Matthias Jabs' specifications, so these are specialty amps made to his spec that you can find in his shop. How awesome is that? Now this particular one has no clean channel. It's a pure rock and roll machine. These are about as high end of a boutique amp as you're going to find, and the price tag to also match. So if you're thinking about buying one of these, get your credit card limit extended. One of the great things about MJ Guitars is the fact they also stock a whole lot of modern day stuff, including this Fender Vibrolux amp. There's so much great vintage gear, but there's also a whole lot of really great modern stuff. I'm a huge fan of these Vibrolux amps, and after I got rid of my Super Reverb, I've always thought, maybe I should try a Vibrolux. I think down the line I'm going to have to pull the trigger on one of these for my Kemper profiling amplifiers. This is by far the best head configuration I've seen / case configuration. Sure, you could go get a Rode case, but I think this is way more functional and it looks great. At first glance, you might be thinking, hey, I'm looking at an interesting looking Stratocaster and 2 Gibsons. But that isn't actually the case. These are made in Germany from a company called Dornink. I hope I pronounced that properly, 3rd or 4th attempt. While these look like the classic designs, they are quite a bit different. There's a few modification and design changes that definitely make these stand out. Thanks to the shape of the lower horn section of the guitar, you could definitely reach up a whole lot further than say on a regular Strat. The bird's eye maple fingerboard and neck look stunning, but it does have a Floyd Rose, which is a little bit scary to a guy like me, but I have to say I definitely dig that slanted bridge pickup. What you're looking at is a Gibson ES-335 Studio from 1991. Notice the one big difference. Well, there's two, but the first one is there's no F-hole, so if you'd like to play with high gain, you could definitely get away with it on this guitar and not have the same problem with the feedback. I also like the fact that the pickups are exposed like that. I think it looks really cool. This beautiful looking Les Paul style electric guitar is from a German company called Maybach. While it's a German company, Maybach Guitars are made just across the border in the Czech Republic. I've always wanted to hear how these sound. Take it away, Rick.
Oh yeah. Wow, that sounds great.
I like the fact that Maybach changed the headstock shape just a little bit. It still has that Gibson influence, but it's not 100% of a clone. I think that's pretty cool. What you're looking at might be one of the best selections of Gibsons I've ever seen. Some of these guitars are old, some are new, and wow. There's no way I'd get away with this in Australia. The gentleman working in the shop allowed me to get up and just basically film the guitars up close, so thank you so much. Some of these guitars, like this 335, are a VOS, and some are the real deal old school electrics from back in the day. So what you're about to see and hear is pretty special. This beautiful looking Gibson looks like it's straight out of the 1940s. And that's because it is. This is the real deal. This is a Gibson L5 made in 1948. How amazing is that? There's something about the way that these Gibsons get old that just looks super cool. I knew as soon as I saw this 1969 Fender Telecaster, which is an original, not a reissue, that Dr. Rick would be in serious trouble. I really wanted to capture his first impression of playing this after owning so many custom shop guitars. Here we go.
Wow, 1969. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
Holy
Wow.
For those who are new to the channel, you might not know, I'm a huge Albert King fan, always have been. He's a left-handed guitar player who plays a right-handed flying V upside down, so all the strings are reversed. Rick put the hard word on me to give it a go, knowing how much of a fan I am of this guitar, but the thing is, he loves it as well, so let's see how it sounds.
You're getting pretty good on that git, fiddle boy.
Should try it this way. Might be easier. No.
Wow.
What a tough tone.
Yeah.
This guitar sounded great. Everything was original except for the pickups that were changed over to what I believe were Seymour Duncans. But other than that, everything was as it was. Pretty sweet. Here's another first for both Rick and I. We're looking at a 1981 Gibson Moderne. This is a guitar I've never seen in person either. I gotta say, it doesn't look too bad maybe. The body shape, the headstock shape is really crazy in terms of what Gibson are known for. But you know what? Good on them for doing something a little bit different. This is the real deal, a 1952 Gibson Goldtop. We have to give this a go.
It feels alive.
Yeah, it sounds it already. It's actually kind of mellow sounding.
Yeah, I've turned it down a bit.
Oh, alright. Oh.
Wow.
Everything we've seen so far is just in the front section of the shop. There's also several other rooms full of really great gear. We'll do a quick walkthrough of the rest of the shop in just a moment, but there's some really great amps in this room, including these Mesa Boogies and a couple of really cool little Vox amps. While these little Vox MV50 amplifiers sound pretty good considering what they are, I have one small problem with them. If you're not careful about how much slack is on your cable, you can easily just turn around and pull the amp straight off the speaker box. There's nothing to really lock it in either unless you use Velcro or something like that. But my first impression of these amps were, wow, they're really, really light, which means they're going to slide off the top of the amp if you just tug on the cable even a little bit. I really believe Sigma guitars, along with some of the Korg guitars, are some of the best value for money, especially in acoustics. These sound great, they play great, they're very reminiscent of the Martin. If you don't know the history of that, you'll know why they look a bit like a Martin guitar, but they're just really great value instruments. Definitely check them out. I go through a lot of music shops and I don't seem to see too much of the Mesa Boogie pedals these days. It's pretty cool, they've got a good range of them, and the infamous cab clone. This is the first time I've actually seen Kalen pedals in a store. This Kalen Time Space Echo delay is definitely one of the best budget delays out there, hands down. Check them out. Let's take a quick look around at the rest of the shop. Rick's in the middle room right now.
So this is all the Scorpions. Yeah. All the stuff was made by fans, and
Wow.
I think his mum painted this picture here.
Oh, cool.
This is amazing.
The middle section of the shop is what you'd expect to find in most music stores. A good selection of Fender, Squier, Gibson, and Epiphone guitars. MJ Guitars is onto a real winner, carrying the vintage gear as well as the new stuff as well, and things at different price points, so no matter where you're at or how much money you want to spend, odds are you'll find something here that's pretty cool. Although, you know what? I haven't seen any Lefties just yet. Hey, a Fender Pro Sonic. These were made between 1996 and 2002. You can essentially get the great Fender cleans that Fender are known for, but it also has a face-melting rock tone as well, thanks to the drive channel, which is really, really usable. Eventually, the Supersonic would kind of make these a little bit redundant, but they're great amps. I saw Chris Kane play through one last year when he was in Melbourne, Australia, and man, it was awesome. This is a limited edition Blues Junior that came out maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, something like that, called the Woody. These were essentially the same amplifier but with a completely different enclosure, completely different grill cloth. With the exception of the aesthetics, it's pretty much the same amp. I had a chance to test out one of these Squier Contemporary Series dual humbucker tallies a little while back, and man, they sound pretty cool. Something about the voicing of these pickups sound very Les Paul in comparison to how sort of the Fender Squier humbucker would normally sound. They're usually a lot thinner sounding. These have a lot of attitude. I can highly suggest giving them a go. There's a lot of great stuff in this room. I'll shut up for a second so you can check it out. And that's right about when I noticed this. Please remain calm. We have our first official Lefty sighting. Hey, we have a Lefty. This particular guitar is called a Korea guitar, which is a German company. The funny thing is though, they're all made in Korea. These come in at a little bit of a less expensive price than how the Epiphones are priced here in Australia, which is pretty cool. It's a mahogany body, dual humbucker guitar. Looks very, very familiar. It's great to see a number of Guild guitars all in one shop. Guild is a brand I don't see around much at the shops I've been at over the last couple of years. They've just sort of fallen off the map. I think since Fender bought them out, possibly they're just not pushing them as much as they used to. But that said, pretty nice instruments, definitely give them a look. And that wraps up another Guitar Search Saturdays. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of work putting this together. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to find out about this shop, I'll also post some links in the description below, and you can check out their website as well. They have some amazing stuff all of the time. I keep my eye on that website as well. It just got lots and lots of great stuff. Rick and I love this store. We both walked out with a leather guitar strap each, and one thing that hasn't left Rick's mind is that Flying V, believe it or not. I keep trying to convince him to buy it, but I think already it's been sold. So Rick, you missed out, mate. Better luck next time. But I wonder if that tally's still there. This is maybe the best store I've ever been to in terms of vintage gear. This first showroom was spectacular. I can highly recommend checking it out if you're in the city of Munich. A huge thanks to MJ Guitars in Munich for allowing us to do this walkthrough. We really appreciate it, and just letting us try the instruments as well was fantastic. Thank you so much. And lastly, a huge thanks to all the Patreon subscribers. I really appreciate your support. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. It definitely helps the channel grow, and it also helps the channel get better and better over time. If you'd like to see more episodes of Guitar Search Saturdays, I'll post a link up in the cards and you can binge watch some more there. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. I'll see you in the next one.